Inspiration strikes at the weirdest times. This week we are going to be making art on a pizza board. Let me show you how I did it. Let's proceed with our crazy experiment. This is all nice and clean now. Well, this is really durable, but I'm going to coat it. I was thinking whether to use all-purpose filler, wall putty, but I'm going to try super heavy gesso. Coat it completely and then use it as my base. I love the fact that it's so lightweight. If it works, I think it's going to be revolutionary. Let's just spread it thickly. I am going to spread on the edges as well to make sure it's really encased in the gesso. Use some newspaper to the edges. This is so funny. I was not intending on this one, but yes, that's what we are doing. That's exactly what we are doing. Canvas on the budget. Spread so nicely. I can't believe I actually opened on this thing. I'm leaving it to dry. Those tiny imperfections, I don't think that really matters. But I can always sand it down, you know, if I wanted. Once it's dry, we'll see. It's completely dry. It's been only a few hours, so I think we are ready for the dip. Let me put it on something because I do like collecting all the paint. I don't like wasting. I'm going to put it on a silicone mat, and then once I'm done and it gets dry, I can actually peel the remaining paint off. I'll have a skin that I might reuse. So I will be dripping my paint onto here and then dipping this. First of all, I am just going to mark. I don't want to draw around, so I'm just going to make some dots. So then we know how big the circle is going to be. Can you see that? So now I am just going to put white acrylic paint here. Can't make it too thin because that's what happens. On the other hand, I actually don't want so much paint because I'll be pressing the board. You can of course use more, but knowing me, I will never put too much anyway. For my design, I actually don't have any design because once we press it down, hopefully the designs will show up themselves. We'll have a little surprise. That's what I like about the dips. You never know what you are getting.
Life was like a box of
dips.
You never know what you're gonna get.
I do have pink blush, Dalerowny System 3 paint, and the rest of my paints are Arteza. So we've got some of the pre-mixed paints actually I'm going to use. Sea green, Tri Neon Purple, leftover rose that I mixed myself. I do have deep purple and my own mixes of green from phthalo green and pale green. I am going to use a pipette. Probably easier putting it in a bottle, but I have those tons of those bottles, but I never use them because I hate cleaning them. Can anybody relate to that? So I would rather use a pipette. If it doesn't work, I can always go back to the bottle. Some kind of colorful design because it's going to be changed anyway, you know, once we do the dip. I'll do one big in the middle and then some smaller one at the edges just to see the difference. I did something similar once, that was quite some time ago, on my Instagram page. This is the part, if you have children or grandchildren, they will love it. I also need to leave some space for the leaves, don't I? It's all about experimenting, and I want to see whether this pizza board will actually work, you know? And then I'm going to use the other colors. Now I want some of this, but I don't have much of this color, so I'm just going to drizzle it like that. I mean, as I said, this work is perfect for those squeeze bottles if you like washing them. To be honest, I haven't done it for a long time, but balloon dips are probably one of my favorite techniques with acrylic pouring. Some of you may not know, but I do like balloon dips. I definitely don't do them often. As you can see, I want my petals or whatever formations there will be later on closer to the middle. I am actually tempted, you know, I am tempted to add some gold as well. Okay, so what's missing? How about What is this gold doing? Kind of wondering. No, 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 no. I added silicone to gold. No. Oh, we'll see what happens now. It could be a complete disaster. But since I started, I have to finish. This was ridiculous. Oh, I didn't want that. I'm so sorry. Okay, see if we can fix it or not. To be honest, I've never done a balloon dip with silicone before, so there's no going back. Now, is it? I did have that paint for a long time. I don't even know what it was, to be honest. Before I dip this pizza board, I'm actually going to put a very thin layer of white on top, just for it to glide better. And at the moment, I'm as curious as probably you are. What will happen with the silicone sections? So I said a very thin layer, just to make it moist, you know. I think I'm ready. Because it's sturdy, I can't keep my finger in the middle. I just have to lift up the whole thing. Oh my goodness. This is so crazy. All right, I'm dipping it again. I think some of the colors are way too vibrant. Okay, now I'm going to lift it from here so the design will go this way and see what colors I get. Oh my goodness. Yo. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, look at this. Interesting. Okay, see what we can do. This one, actually. Wonder which one is better. Alright, so let's see what we can do with this one. Got some very, very pretty colors. I really like some of the formations. I'm not too keen on some others, and I'm thinking I'll try to add some balloon dips in places that are like overpowered. I don't know what's happening here. So let's try reintroduce this in some sections that I am not keen on. I can also do something else. I'm just thinking, I'm really like, zzz, my mind is really, what to do? It's all the silicone's fault, you know? I've found something else, rose pink. Definitely this purple. Not enough of this. Some in the middle. How about some white, you know? Okay, this is the moment of truth, and we will know in a second if it's even possible to ever do anything like this with a silicone. Well, it is possible. We're getting psychedelic effects. Now I can try this balloon first. I'll tell you something. The red balloon is over 2 years old. This is my most trusted, beloved old balloon, and it looks like this. And it's still partially inflated. Let's try this one first. Wow, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. Okay, I like it. I'm going to press it on a piece of paper actually, so I don't lose it. I want more purple here on this edge. Yes, we are getting some cells, but it doesn't look too bad, does it? One on top of the other. Hey, that's so pretty. This is gorgeous. What? It just died on me. How? What? I didn't do anything. Please behave and don't die. That's a huge one. I am making this one slightly different just to get different petals. That's very different. Adding a couple more. Ooh, what do we have? That's really deep. Well, overall, you know, it looks very cheerful. And let's just try to sort of shape some of the petals more. So this is the time to make some partitions between some of them, perhaps. These are nicely defined here. I could also use a brush just to drag some of the sections. Maybe that will help. We can also add a bit of green, perhaps not to your own hands, but somewhere here. For example, if there's any missing bit, like, you know, you can touch some sections, just a little bit. As I said, we can play with it to our heart's content. So at the moment, we've got this crazy field of pansies. Now looking back, I think I could have picked a different green, but these were the only ones that I had. I could have mixed another one. If when it's dry and I'm still not happy, I would just add some green in between. But at the moment, I am leaving it to dry. It's usually halfway through a project that I have some crazy ideas and I think, why don't we try something else? So now I'm looking and thinking, I would like some kind of depth, more depth. And I would like some flowers to be closer, some flowers to be further. What if I place some frisket paper on a couple of them, protect them, and then cover the background with like a light grey? I am roughly going over the petals, like super simplified. And then I'll just... I thought that would be the easiest way to cut it out without creating any special templates. Now I've got this very soft brush. I actually covered, I'll show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one as well. I quite like this one. I am going to try and just put a little bit of my black fluid acrylic that I mixed in water, because I've never tried it. I don't even know what consistency do I want. I'm just going to put some black here, but let's just try. So let me... Oh, that's not much. That's not much. I think I need more black. You can see that obviously these bits are repelling. That's what we wanted. There's another option that I could perhaps use a spray paint. Or it's already darker. I could also do this, just dab it like that. Oh, that's nice. It's a very different effect. Sort of looks more grainy. Have a look from close. Of course, ignore these, because these will be clean, but we've got all that. That's really nicely muted now, isn't it? I'll leave it probably for half an hour to dry. No, it's not a disaster. I just went out and I wanted to add some more paint. So I want to show you something else that we could do. And I know maybe it's too much, or adding all those little bits, but believe me, it's so much fun. I just want to show you a very effective technique to add real plants here. So I went out just 1 minute and I found a couple of leaves that I might want to add to make some of the leaves stand out more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix some of the paint. This is pale green, which is not pale at all. Burnt sienna. I don't want this green to be crazy vibrant. Similar. Kind of. So once I'm happy with this, you can always add a bit of white if you want to make it lighter. That's probably perfect. I like that. All you're doing is transfer the paint onto your plant. I did a couple of videos on printing with leaves that you can find on my channel if you're interested, but this will be like super quick. So I'm thinking where to put them, so let's just try one here. Pressing down and peeling it off. All we do. See how pretty? And that gives us absolutely more depth. Now I'm using some of the darker paint and I'm going to repeat it in other places. Oh, the last thing, I found a different leaf. This one looks a bit like from the pansies, and I added a bit of phthalo green. It's a bit more vibrant. Just wanted to create a different green somewhere here at the bottom. This one looks more like the background color, doesn't it? So just a couple of these, a couple of stems as well. That's really important. I think that leaves are just the perfect addition. So now to make everybody happy, and this is super satisfying, the final reveal. And our pizza item will be finished. Oh, how cute. I always think halfway through, this is not going to work. This is terrible. And then I persevere. I always do. I don't think I've ever left any piece when I wasn't happy with it. I just don't leave it. I keep thinking what else to do. Okay, so that's it at the moment. I am pretty happy now. I just wanted to show you this one of the ways that you could turn your pouring into fine art. And it's not as complicated as you thought if you do it step by step. I could keep adding more and more highlights. I think that's looking all right now. There's one more thing. I wonder how many of you watched my hydrangea video. That was some time ago and I was making some really cute little flowers. So you can see me making here. It was a very, very interesting technique that I started with hollyhock, and then I thought maybe I can make some smaller flowers, and I really fancied hydrangeas then. Now because, well, I'm a terrible hoarder, so the leftover little flowers, these, I kept them, and now I'm thinking they kind of look, you know, that's the same color scheme, and I'm thinking maybe they will enhance the painting. I think just at the bottom. I don't want them everywhere, sprinkle them everywhere. That would not look really natural. I am thinking, oh, one has lost its petal, so perhaps that one could go behind the flower. Now they look like little violas, something like that. Maybe one here. I'm not too keen on this dark shadow, so perhaps we could fix that. And she may be behind or on top of this. How about that? I think I'm going to glue them down, and then yes, I'll call it finished. I like using paint as my glue because I often say, you know, the background is acrylic, the flower is acrylic, so acrylic should bind them really nicely. I can of course use glue. Somewhere here. Stuck and ready. Well, there we are. This was so much fun. After you've enjoyed a nice pizza with family and friends, there is still more enjoyment to be found. Let me know what you thought of this week's tasty treat in the comments. And if you'd like to help support the channel, check out my website and Patreon, where you can find lots of exciting extra content. If you were wondering what to do next with your board, look at this. We can frame it beautifully. And if you're wondering about polystyrene, remember that this is a construction material. It's incredibly durable. It's waterproof, rot-proof, non-toxic, so there are no problems here. And how cool it looks. Thank you so much for watching. See you all next week. Bye bye.